Imagine this. You're at the park with your family. Your kid slips and falls, and you notice blood starts pouring out. There's no first aid kit around, and everyone around you is in panic. Would you know exactly what to do in those first crucial moments? Do you have anything available to you where you can intervene right away? What if I told you that the solution to that problem is right here? And it can fit almost anywhere. Hey guys, it's Dan with Dozer Rescue. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the Live the Creed EDC Pocket Trauma Kit. And I'm going to let you know, is this truly the best trauma kit that you can carry on you to keep you and your family safe? Okay, so let's go ahead and unpack this and see what exactly is inside the Live the Creed's EDC Pocket Trauma Kit. So right away, you'll notice how compact it is. It's perfectly sized to fit in your pocket, purse, a backpack, or a glove box, wherever you want to put it. It's also nice because you have this little quick tab feature here. So not only can you just put your finger there and grab it real fast and open it, but it also works. You can connect it with the carabiner, or if you want to connect it via some other mount, you can do so. On the back here, you also have a little bit of a MOLLE system. So you can run some paracord rope through here. If you have a 1-inch belt, you can run it through here. You can just get creative and connect this in kind of a couple different ways. So it is nice to see that you have some options if you do want to mount this or attach this somewhere else other than just throwing it inside a pocket or some kind of container. So let's go ahead and open it up and we'll take a look at the actual supplies. Now, one thing I do just want to note real quickly, guys, again, with anything medically related, this is just a disclaimer saying that if you hear any advice from my videos or you see anything, please don't take it to heart and go out in real life and try to practice it. I always recommend that this is something that you need to get certified in, something you need to be trained in. And this right here is only for educational purposes. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit how hemostatic agent works with gauze. Please don't go out and do it, because if you do something stupid, I don't want to be held liable for you being stupid. So as you can see here, this is our nitrile gloves, just a real basic precaution. Nothing fancy about those. We have our quick clot here, our hemostatic agent impregnated gauze. And you'll notice that there is a good amount in there. It's not a ton. So just be cautious of that and just be aware. When I was in AE, we would get the huge packs of combat gauze and they would be sizable. They'd be real thick there. Now, granted, that was for my line of work. This is, I think, going to be perfect for most situations that you're going to come across, especially since we're talking about family preparedness. You always want to be prepared, but I think that this should suffice for most serious bleeding that is not life-threatening. And how this typically works is you're just going to pack it into the wound. So if there is a deep wound, you're going to keep packing it as far and as deep as you can, making sure that it's nice and tight, filled all the way from the bottom to the top. And then you're going to use whatever remaining dressing is left and apply direct pressure, hold that firm pressure. And if you do have a pressure bandage or you have some tape or you have some way to provide pressure and hold the rest of the gauze on there, then that's ideal. Otherwise, just use your hand and that'll stop the bleeding. So that's that. The next thing that we have here is our micro first aid kit. And so this contains an iodine prep pad, an alcohol prep pad, some bacitracin, which is just an antibacterial cream. You have some standard Band-Aids, and then you have some steri strips or some wound closure strips. So this is probably what's going to be used most commonly, especially when it comes to family preparedness. This works, but again, you can see here, there's not a ton of supplies. So you may have to refill often depending on how active you guys are and if there's a lot of injury sustained, which I hope there is none. And then finally, we have here our SWAT-T tourniquet. This is used for stopping life-threatening bleeding, specifically on the limbs. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that if you are not familiar with a SWAT-T, if you've never practiced with one, if you've never used one or even heard of one, this is not the time to find out during the emergency, right? The time to play with it and practice with it is well before you actually get involved in something. And what this essentially is, it's a very strong elastic band, a thick elastic band, and you're wrapping this around the limb And that is what's going to cut off the circulation and stop the bleeding. Again, you need training with this and you need to practice with it because it sounds simple enough, but you don't want to apply this on someone. You finish it up and you realize that they're still bleeding out. And now you just wasted all that time trying to wrap it on them when you didn't do it correctly. So my recommendation to you is just take a course, practice with it, get your hands on with a real one, buy another one. And if you're going to carry this with you, just make sure you know how to use it and make sure you do it correctly. So that's all I'm going to say about it. And that's it, guys. Other than that, you just have the case. And like I've said, the case is a really great design. I love it. And they come in a variety of colors and patterns. And so I think this alone truly is worth the money. And then the medical stuff is just on top of it. So now let's go back to the scenario I talked about at the beginning of the video. So you imagine your child fall. They have a deep cut and bleeding starts to occur quickly. You pull out your EDC Kit, you throw on your gloves, you pull out your hemostatic quick clot, you apply it to the wound, you hold your direct pressure, and within a matter of minutes, you successfully stop the bleeding. Now, in less than a minute, you just turned a stressful moment in which everyone else was panicking and didn't know what to do into something that's manageable, all because you had the right tools on you and they were accessible to you. Let's get into some honest pros and cons of the Live the Creed EDC Kit. So one of the things I want to talk about in terms of being a positive is that the design of the Live the Creed Kit is just awesome. It's so small, it's compact, and it's high quality. It's actually made of a very thick material that you can tell will last for quite some time. Obviously, the most important part of this kit and its design is just that. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to access. There's a couple different ways if you want to mount it or hook it onto something, but overall, it's not so much the medical supplies that are amazing as it is the design of the case. The big concern is the design. And I think the design, they nailed it. It really is comfortable. It's lightweight, it's compact, and you really can attach it and put it in a variety of places. Now, on the downside to it, one of the things that I think is, it depends on how you look at it, but with the EDC kit, it's only made to stop the bleeding. You have your SWAT-T for massive bleeds. You have your hemostatic gauze for anything else really, but that's where it ends. You don't have any airway adjuncts. You don't have any other things that you can do to intervene other than stop the bleeding. Now, arguably, bleeding is the number one leading cause of death, at least in terms of combat medicine and battlefield medicine. However, when it comes to just staying prepared for your family, it's always a good idea to be able to stop the bleeding in somehow, way, shape, or form. Now, again, with this, you're not going to be able to do a bunch of other crazy interventions, but if your child or a family member is bleeding out, you can at least stop the bleeding and keep them alive until an ambulance can arrive. But just know that your only kit and your only things that you can do with that is stop bleeding. Other than that, really, there's not a whole lot more to it. It's just a small, compact, rapid tool to use to stop bleeding. They really did a good job. It's lightweight. It just handles well. And you can put it so many places. You can put it in your motorcycle saddlebags. You can put it in your glove compartment, in your center console. You can obviously put it in your pocket, although it looks like you have a really fat wallet, but you can put it in your pocket. You can throw it in your purse. There's so many places where you can put it and it's easily accessible and it just opens so easy. So the big question is this: is the Live the Creed EDC Pocket Trauma Kit worth it? Let's break it down. So the cost of it right now on their website is about $85 all the way down to about $75. It does fluctuate depending on the design. There is multicam, there's black, there's tan, there's green, there's a couple different variations. So it depends on the design first and foremost. Other than that, the medical supplies that you're getting with it, it's hard to justify for that $85 price tag. However, I truly believe that you're paying that money for the quality of the case. You're paying for that design that they have custom built. And I think that it is a really good design in which you can, of course, customize to your own liking. You can take out those medical supplies and put in your own or configure it, maybe make it a little bulkier and add some more stuff onto there. But I believe that price tag is being justified by the design. And once you have the design, you can customize it how you need to. So if you're someone that doesn't have any medical supplies, or you've just taken enough courses and information to just, you want to stop bleeding and that's about it, then I think this will work for you because it gives you the tools that you need in a nice, slick package. If you're someone who's in the medical field or you have a lot of experience, you may be able to just buy your own supplies and try to find a similar design bag or case or sleeve. But honestly, I do think that they have an award-winning design. And so I would recommend just spend the $85 and buy the kit, and then it's yours. And so if you're a parent or you're someone serious about family safety, having this handy, this compact little lifesaver, it literally could mean the difference between life and death. And so from a final standpoint, I would say yes, the $85 or so is justified and it is worth it. Now, before you go, if you're thinking about boosting your home safety, make sure that you check out my last video where I discuss the Ring security system. And I talk about if this may be the right move for you and your family. Also, to help jumpstart your family's preparedness journey, I have created a free emergency preparedness gear guide packed with some must-have gear recommendations, and it will help you plan out and get yourself started on your emergency preparedness journey. You can find a link to that for free, my gift to you, down in the description below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out. Until next time, stay safe, stay prepared, and stay tactical. I'm Dan with Dozer Rescue. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video.